Hi there. Thank you so much for watching the video newsletter for November. Um, Definitely excited. There's a lot of content to discuss, so let's get right to it. Our next, the unit that we're studying right now for social studies deals with explorers, and we're really focusing on explorers and the impact that they made on civilization. Your child has been assigned an explorer. They selected an explorer, and there are two projects that are due in the coming weeks on their explorer. Hopefully, your child has been researching their explorer. It's required that they have two sources for their research. One can be a trade book, and one can be various internet resources or encyclopedias. Anyway, the first project is a treasure chest. So they're going to present a treasure chest that shows artifacts of their explorer. This is the direction sheet, the assignment sheet. They were given that last week. It's also posted on the wiki page. So if your child lost it, you can print out another copy. There's also a rubric on the wiki page as well. The project is worth 35 points. It's really important that anything in the treasure chest that the students make are handmade. We want to really assess what the students can do versus what like a computer can print out. So for the decorated treasure chest, it should be like a shoebox, and it should contain between 5 to 10 items that are significant to the explorer that you're studying. Of those 5 to 10 items, there must be a picture of the explorer, handmade of course, a map of the route of exploration, that can be printed. That's the only thing that can be printed. A model or picture of the mode of transportation used by the explorer, and a made-up journal entry. So that, of course, is in the point of view of the explorer. So they would say I instead of he or she. Also, there must be a fact sheet printed and inserted in the treasure chest. Now I'm going to tweak this a little bit for our class for a more tech and creative approach. Students will be creating a talk show that will answer all of these questions for their fact page. And their talk show will be done on a website called extranormal.com. Now, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to explore extranormal.com yet, but it is amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I went out and I purchased a class subscription to extranormal.com. And what that means is with the paid subscription, each child was given a username and a password. And they created their password, which is their 96 number, their student ID number. Okay, so what I do is I'm able to put out an assignment, and then all the students can log in as themselves and see the assignment that I've put out, and then they can create a movie. They actually pick actors, pick a set, they type the dialogue, they type the stage directions, they put the music and everything. They're really creating a movie. It's amazing. And then they can submit it to me. And so to answer all of these questions, such as, what was his nationality, where is he from, what did he explore, what was his childhood and background like, they'll create a talk show. And I've given an example, and it's on the wiki page. If you go to the extra normal page on the wiki page, you'll be able to see the one that I created. But it's really engaging. And so anyway, so students should be researching their Explorer to get all the information for their fact sheet, for their, of course, for their treasure chest, but also for their talk show, for their fact sheet. I know that's a lot of information, so of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, so also, the treasure chest is due Monday, December 12th. Monday, December 12th. Now, a second project for their Explorer will be on December 20th, I believe. And that's going to be called a Living Museum. Now, a Living Museum is really neat, and the whole fifth grade is going to be doing it, but we're going to be breaking it into 2 days. So 3 classes will be out in the hallway, the fifth grade hallway, dressed up like their Explorer. And they'll be like frozen like a statue. And then as a guest, so parents will be invited, as will fourth grade students will be invited to come as well. As they approach one of the frozen statue explorers, which the students are dressed up, of course, as these statues, they'll have a button, and you press the button, and then the statue, the students, will come to life and give a monologue. So it'll be something that they'll have somewhat memorized. And basically, they'll come to life and they'll say who they are, and what was their motivation for exploring what they explored, as well as what was their impact on civilization. How did what they accomplished, how did it impact civilization economically and politically? And so they'll have that memorized. And of course, to know those answers, students will have to do research. So those will be some of the projects. So we'll be busy over the next month, that's for sure. Okay, so that's social studies. For math, today we just took our quarter two cycle one post test. That dealt with fractions, percents, and decimals. It's a really important unit. Students basically were able to convert fractions to percents by making the denominator equivalent to 100. They were also able to look at grids with 100 squares, so a hundreds grid, and determine that however many shaded in, that's how many out of 100, and that's the percent. They also were able to simplify those fractions by finding a common factor and dividing the numerator and the denominator by those common factors. We also studied finding the percent of a whole by changing the percent to a decimal and multiplying. And I am Mr. Alo. If you don't know that, Mr. Alo is my music nickname, and it's after J-Lo, but I'm Mr. Alo. And there's a song for finding the percent of a whole called The Box and Slide, and that song is on the wiki page under Our Math Songs. Goes to the tune of NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye, which shows how dated I am, I guess. But it's a great song, and it really is engaging. I do a lot of singing and rapping with the students. Please ask your child about all the different Mr. Alo songs, including the prime and composite rap, equivalent fractions, and divisibility rules. And all those songs really help them on this unit. Okay, so going forward, after we finish the percents unit, we're going to be starting a unit still with fractions, but with adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators, and students will need to find a common denominator in order to do this. We'll also be converting mixed numbers and improper fractions into simplest form. This will be a really important unit that students will actually be using for the rest of their lives, honestly and truly. Also in math, your child may be telling you that they are doing football in class, and they're 100% accurate. We have a fantasy football league, the Auslander Fantasy Football League. Students have paired up with a partner, and they have selected a quarterback, a wide receiver, and a running back. And based on their actual performance on Sundays, they are actually achieving points. And what they have to do is, so every 50 yards passing your quarterback throws for, your child gets 1 point. So they're finding their total yards passing and dividing by 50. And of course, there's a decimal remainder. So students have to convert it to a decimal. And then there's a whole algorithm for determining the number of points that your child will earn. And if you want to see the tutorial that I created, it's pretty involved, and it's on the wiki page on the math pages. But basically, the kids are doing this, and it's pure. It's totally math, but it's very engaging. There's 12 teams, and so the top six points totals for the week, they get a win, and the bottom six unfortunately get a loss. I have a team. My team's called Benny and the Jets, and my team doesn't count as far as wins and losses, but of course students love to beat me. And last week, all but 2 teams did beat me, so that's okay. So we are definitely doing football, but it's really academic, but it is fun, and that's okay. Okay, so we've talked about math, and we've talked about social studies. For guided reading, we are going to be focusing on narrative elements such as cause and effect, problem and solution, and like characterization. Looking at the main character and making our judgments on the character's personality and actions and things like that, which should be a lot of fun. During brain training, which is from 1 to 1:30, some students leave to go for interventions, but those who stay in my classroom are reading Pedro's journal, and we'll be doing a lot of those elements in the book club. So we are doing a lot of discussion on what we've been reading, and we'll be doing that a lot going forward as well. This week in guided reading, we'll also be reading out of a great newspaper called Social Studies Weekly. kind of hard to see upside down or right side up, but we'll be reading from that resource as well as our textbook. And there's lots of other Explorer resources. Also, during guided reading time, students will be able to continue with their research on their Explorer. Okay. Speaking of reading, Scholastic, this order went home about 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard from anybody, and that's okay. But with the holidays coming up, nothing's better, in my opinion, than a book. And if you need another copy of this, if you go to the wiki page and you click on recent changes and you scroll all the way down, you can click on the Scholastic Orders website, and it explains how you can do it all online. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you would like to make any orders and you want it to be secret, just give me a call or email me and let me know, and I'll keep it a secret for sure. Of course, for the holidays. So that's basically what we're doing in guided reading. This week will be great. Miss Ferguson comes every other week. She's the reading specialist, and she's in our classroom every other week, which is amazing. So we get that extra help every other week. Okay. In writing, we are going to be writing to persuade in the next couple weeks. And in order to do that, we need to really focus on who the audience is and speak to our audience. We need to speak, our arguments need to be arguments that our audience would listen to and be convinced by. So we have to really use a lot of voice in our writing. We'll also focus on organization with our writing to persuade by starting with a hook that grabs the reader's attention, having sequential writing, sequence words, first then next, things like that, and ending with a lasting impression that, again, really connects to our audience. We'll be using some reading, some literature to support our arguments for our persuasive writing. For example, in the next week or so, we'll be writing a persuasive letter about chewing gum in class, because there's actually been research that chewing gum improves memory. So I'll need to be convinced, of course, before I allow anyone to chew gum in class. But they'll be using literature for their arguments. Okay, important dates. So December 8th, which is a Thursday after Thanksgiving, December 8th, it's 2 Thursdays after Thanksgiving, I believe. That is the 5th grade play. So this is my first year in 5th grade here at Allisonville, but the 5th grade play is a huge deal, and it's really exciting. You'll definitely want to come to that Thursday the 8th in the evening. Mr. Snyder talked about this at the awards assembly, but we request that you chip in. Everyone pitches in $2 for the specialist teachers, as well as for some of the parent volunteers who are going to be putting in an awful lot of time on this play. We'd like to get those specialist teachers who put in a lot of work, as well as those parent volunteers who really put in a lot of work. We'd like to get them something nice, like a gift card, to thank them for all their hard work on the play. The following Thursday, December 15th, is our holiday luncheon, which is a lot of fun. If you're new to Allisonville, it's a blast. And dates on the holiday luncheon will be forthcoming. The Thursday after that, the 22nd of December, that's the last day of the semester. So of course, the next Friday will be everyone's winter break, except teachers. Teachers have to report on that day, but that's okay. And midterms. So midterms, I'm gonna have midterms ready for everyone the Monday that we return from Thanksgiving. Of course, Thanksgiving break starts this Thursday. So definitely have a wonderful holiday, long weekend, and a wonderful holiday with family, I hope. I'll be staying here in Indy, but I'm definitely excited about Thanksgiving. Our last Thanksgiving before the new baby comes. So we're definitely excited. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please email me or call me. And as to the delight of your child, if you email me and you tell me that you watched the video newsletter, I will give your child a free no homework pass. So I'm sure everyone's very excited about that. One more thing. So I graded DMR quizzes and a couple other things, but I have a few more things that I do want to grade before Thanksgiving break. So even though Monday folders are going home today, please look for some more graded papers tomorrow. I'll be sending home a couple more graded papers on Tuesday as well. So I just wanted to let you know that as well. Okay, again, any questions and comments, please let me know. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and thanks a lot for watching this. Take care. Bye.